Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
What do you get when you mix two white boys, both named Mike? A thing for Justin Timberlake and a piercing above your eye. Was he high? Their stories alone could make you cry. That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
Man, sometimes you gotta jumpstart yourself.
That's right. And also sometimes you got to fight tooth and nail to record the podcast that you've had scheduled for a week.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Irish Goodbye Podcast, a storytelling podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Feeney, being joined with me, as always.
A fucking testy Mike Cannon. And I'm not talking about the filled scrotum I have also. I'm talking about the absolute top level of rage and anger I could possibly be at before making a scene.
While still wrapping yourself up in a little professional shell.
Yeah. Well, because I like Harrington. I really do.
Oh, which, by the way, we have Harrington filling in, so
that's right.
Peel back the curtain.
Yeah, he's our engineer. So, listen, as we've said, as you noticed last week, our long-standing producer, some may say third character of the show, left unceremoniously and at the same time pretty much wiped Irish Goodbye off of her resume and deleted any history of her being involved in the program at the same time. She cannot be reached for comment. She cannot be reached for help. She cannot be reached for technical assistance. She has washed her hands, and the only text we've received is, I am literally on vacation on a beach right now, when we've been locked out of our Instagram account. And, things are just falling apart by the moment.
But we had a scheduling snafu.
That's right.
So now Harrington stepped up like the miracle man that he is.
Dressed as Frank Rigatone, too, which you have to appreciate.
I mean, legitimately. Holy shit.
Harrington, there's a part for you in Frank Rigatone 4, my friend.
Yeah, it has to be. So now we're recording. We got to do a couple eps to bank one, but boy, oh boy, it was looking pretty scarce there for a second.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, it's nobody here's fault, I guess. Like, this is, I was prepping myself for every argument with every person, both in the car and on the walk over here. And I thought to myself, this is me being empathetic.
Yeah.
I'm literally projecting myself into each one of these people's places.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to think of what they must be thinking, what they must be going through. They're obviously brand new to things. They're pretty confused. It's wildly chaotic. It's all that stuff. Everything's shifting. Responsibilities are all over the place. But I'll tell you whose fault it's not. Is ours.
Yeah.
It's like, it might not be theirs. Yeah. It's somebody's. It's not the two people who routinely show up on time and continue to do what they do every single week for a pretty decent sized fan base.
Well, it seems strange because, again, I think this whole thing started that Alex got transitioned to a new job,
She's a dude
against her.
Alox is a dude. She went through full transition.
So it's kind of
Didn't
against.
have to even change her name.
It was almost like against her, whatever. But the long and short of it is she's gone. So then we have new people. We got Alec, who's here, right? Alec, he's here. Who he's got thrusted onto the job,
right? And
while learning to fly while falling out of the nest, sort of situation,
and
which isn't ideal.
His text read if it was somebody that had been working on the show, Alec, I would have offered to fist fight you as soon as I got here. But because you're brand new, I was like, there's really there's nothing they can do. I understand. Right. Their abilities are where they're at. They're going to continue to grow over time.
Doesn't make it less frustrating.
It does not make it less frustrating. And it also actually might make it more frustrating because I need to focus this anger on somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't have a single person to blame. So that for that reason only, it's all Alex. It's La Playa cunt who's sitting wherever the fuck on some, beach somewhere enjoying herself. And just being like, oh, whatever, those guys probably don't need to be handheld through the first week of their podcast alone.
Yeah.
I've just been doing this for 5 years.
I don't know what happened
to
G-Mike either. He's gone.
G-Mike still auditing the chat. There's 17 members on our fucking group chat right now that frankly have no part in our show.
Alec is the only one who's writing back in the group chat.
I know. Which is why my anger went to him first.
Yeah.
You volunteered yourself as tribute.
That's very fun. But Harrington, we do appreciate you, Seven, because otherwise Alec would just be there with headphones on, just, cat pressing the keyboard, like walking over a piano. So we have a show.
I'm really trying. Like, I'm trying to not be the angry person. I think I've done a pretty good job. There have been very scarce, real anger moments on the show. Obviously, we elevate things for the comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty good at not going off on the, the fucking percussive freakouts that I've been known to have. And it's more or less me just trying to keep my heart valve from spraying like a loose hose.
Of course.
Like a loose hose.
Like a loose hose. Well, I have one and only one story I can tell you about.
I have 1.5.
Great. Perfect.
It's going to be a fun app. We're going to talk to Harrington a lot. The listeners are going to get to know Harrington.
The man, the punching bag, some would say, of Gas Digital. And Lewis, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a living, breathing punching bag for the CEO.
Yeah.
Who, again, and I love Lewis. He's done nothing but help us personally.
Yes.
It is hilarious that whoever we reached out to, Lewis is like, I'm on a plane to San Diego. Like, everybody's just leaving for greener pastures, and the Irish boys are sitting here with an undersized cock in their hands.
We're the Irish family in the Titanic. The water's bubbling up, and we're like, I guess we'll just
tucking us in.
Harrington,
reciting the land of Kiernan.
Sing us lullabies as we slowly drown.
But I'm pulling the ripcord. Trust me, as soon as that water elevation got to a certain height, I'm grabbing somebody's service revolver and putting the top of my head out.
Oh, yeah.
Release hatch.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty good at getting off the boat and swimming away. But I would just be so cold. But I would
use a fat man as a raft.
I would not allow myself to die in that situation. It would be I choose how I'm dying, and this ain't it. Short of one of the pillars collapsing on me or some electrical explosion.
That's an accident.
Yeah.
That could have happened above sea level.
Of course. But I would do pretty much the equivalent of what Jack and Rose did, which was like go up to the top, like wait to be the last person in the water. Just because not even because of the ship could whatever. It's more just because of the cold water. And you're like, I want to be the absolute last person in this water. And then we got to swim, Rose. You got to swim. So,
my survival instinct as Jack, though, would have been to push off Rose as I'm swimming to the top.
Yeah.
So I would have kicked her down deeper into the ocean where she would, hit some of the still spinning propellers.
The fact that whole thing didn't really suck way more people down into it. I'm sure it did.
I'm sure James Cameron did a little artistic license.
Yeah, but I would immediately have to, because you're floating, because you have the life vest.
Right.
So then it's just a matter of it might become a thing very quickly where the dead bodies kind of get all tied to, we tie them together and make a raft out of them. And they're going to float.
Yeah, they will.
So, I might have to, but anything I have to do to get out of that water. But imagine in the fucking, what year was
that's
it?
Real morbid, huh? Just a raft of bodies.
Listen, man, that's the least worried thing I'm worried about is the PTSD of that. How will I look back at this at 60?
I'm like, should I die now or should I suffer later?
Yeah, survivor's guilt. I'll figure it out.
Oh, that I would have none of. That I'd be like, listen, it was everybody for themselves. There's just nothing that could have been done.
What they don't talk about are the sharks.
Right. It's in that cold water. Do sharks swim in cold water, or are they more for warm pockets?
I think sharks are everywhere.
Yeah.
Sharks don't really.
I don't know if that's true though, because they're real. The reason why they're now around Jersey Shore a lot is because the water temperature has risen, and I think sharks.
I think it depends on the type of shark. Harrington, look this up. See the show.
He was already doing.
There's got to be what a great. I would call you a producer, but I guess now you have to be called an engineer. They changed your title, so does that sounds. Engineer, if someone says they're an engineer, that means they make a lot of money usually.
It almost sounds like you have a degree of some sort.
Yeah. Degree from Louis Gomez Institute.
From DeVry Gomez.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely sharks in the Pacific.
The North Atlantic. Shark.
84 species. This didn't answer my question.
Nope.
At all.
Made me know that there's an Area 21 in an ocean somewhere.
So the Titanic sunk in the Atlantic, not the Pacific.
That's what I said. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But there are sharks. The Pacific is the largest body of water, so I would think that the Pacific there's a lot of sharks in California and Hawaii, which is
Right.
Hawaii's in the middle of the Pacific.
Right.
So
But we're talking Atlantic cold.
But Pacific's colder than the Atlantic.
No.
100%.
Didn't he just say the opposite?
No, he said the Titanic sunk in the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic
Pacific
is off the East Coast. The Pacific is off the warm places.
I know, but that's the beautiful irony. The Pacific is deeper.
Can you believe I went to school ever?
The Pacific is deeper, so it's colder. It takes longer to heat up. It's like a shallow pool versus a deep pool.
Oh, all right.
So Atlantic is, if you go in the water in New York, the beach can get up to like 80 degrees. In LA, you'd think it would be warm because it's 75, 80 every day. Look at this. Although it might be logical, the Atlantic Ocean is warmer. There we go. Given the latitude, given the place, blah, 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 blah. So if you ever go in the water in California, it's like freezing. It's like when you put your foot in and it starts going numb really quick.
I'm not an ocean guy.
Love the ocean.
I know.
Get
I know
me
you do.
Get me
My
in.
wife does. I keep like reiterating how much I love a lake. Like Lake George is my favorite place on earth.
Yeah.
And like the amount of like
Lake George
white
is one of the
trash
only lakes I like.
that she mutters at me.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, what trash. No, Long Pond up near Bear Mountain.
I'm
is
saying
really
that I've
great.
been to.
Like
I'm
there's
sure
some
there are others.
there's some real great, just kind of like self-contained, non-wavy, no undertow or any of that bullshit. You know, lakes and bodies of water that are just so much more enjoyable to me because the unknown beneath and the idea of a shark fin even touching me or swimming 8 inches
You got
below my
alligators
feet and I
in
don't
lakes.
know. No, not here in
Aren't
New York. In New York?
I don't know.
No, I will say that confidently.
I'll
I've watched Swamp People and they've never come up to the Hudson Valley to.
Well, I don't
skin-
think they're right
skin a
up
gator.
here, but I feel like there's alligators in lakes. I'm saying they live in lakes. They don't live in oceans.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Mexico, there was this thing called a cenote. Did you ever?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where it's like it's a self-contained body of
Yeah.
water, but it's like washed over from the ocean, so it actually
Yes.
is ocean water in this self-contained area. And then on the way in were like little wood signs with like a picture of a crocodile and a misspelling of beware crocodiles. So I was freaking out the entire time. Nicole's like, it's totally cool. It's like, it actually says the opposite everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not going in here. We would go
You didn't
like,
go in.
I went in like up to my shoulders. And then I saw something jump into the water 700 feet yonder, and I jumped the fuck out, and I told Nicole to swim out further.
The reason that I love the ocean is that it's constantly moving and churning out new stuff. It makes you feel, it gives me perspective. It's like looking up at the stars. You know, you're like, there's this so much bigger thing than me. The pulling of it feels like Earth gravity pulling you out. I love riding the waves. Nothing feels better than like if you surf or even if you boogie board. Like nothing feels better than when you get the momentum of a wave and it's pushing you and thrusting you forward, and it just the whole thing. I love this. Your feeling of your skin after you get out of the ocean. That salt kind of like shrink wrap feeling you get.
I agree with all of that.
Okay.
Except for the pulling you out to the ocean. In no way
But then
do
it
I
pushes
think
you
that's
back in.
Mother Nature welcoming me
It
to
pushes
the
you.
middle
It pushes
of
and
the water
pulls,
for
baby.
a hug.
It's Earth. It's
No.
Earth. It's the fucking. It's connected to the moon
In
too.
my
It's
head,
crazy. Dude.
in my head, that is like a city-sized octopus grabbing me by the ankle and pulling me into the rough waters.
Yeah, but you know how to swim.
Yeah, but not well enough. I can't
That's why.
swim.
That's
I
what
can't
it's gotta
beat
be.
the ocean. No, I'm a good swimmer. I'm like fine. Passed every swim test that's ever been thrown at me. And
Then you're fine as long as you can float on the top. You know.
yeah, but I just don't think I'm a better swimmer than the ocean is water.
Well, you can just be on the top of it. You're good. You don't have to be in the middle of it fighting through
No,
it.
I have to fist fight the ocean and come out
See,
victorious.
now that's your problem.
Yeah, because I have to
You've been
dominate
trying to fist fight the ocean the whole time.
which I have. I've thrown a punch at a wave before.
I've hit every wave.
Yeah.
Every wave that comes in, you fucking hit him with that body shot as the crest
Oh.
hits you in the eyes.
Yeah, so you got to slip
Yeah.
and hit at the same time. Good thing we have Harrington.
Yeah.
So we can
Parry.
talk fight technique
Parry.
versus
Yeah.
the Atlantic. How would Connor do this?
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
he switch stance?
Yeah, he would just shatter his leg and lose again.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But I think this all stems back, and I've told this story on the podcast before, but it resurfaced in my brain recently. And it's probably because, like, you know, my son, Crew is turning 2 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. I know I've mentioned it in a couple of the lead-up episodes, but it's just like every day that we get closer there, it's just more and more baffling. The things he's capable of, it changes every single day. You know, Nicole FaceTimed me yesterday as I'm driving out to Jersey to do Uncle Vinny's. And, Crew's playing with his cousins. They're having a great time, and he's holding his wiffle ball bat. He's always holding a ball or something. And out of nowhere, I'm just watching and Nicole's talking to me and I'm looking over her shoulder and Nicole's cousin, Angie, throws Crew a wiffle ball and Crew just with two hands piped one like fucking 15 feet down the line. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like, where is this coming from? How out of nowhere is he like, it's no longer the tee. He's just hitting balls.
Yeah.
He's not even two yet. Like, he's just like physically capable of so much shit. Yeah, of course. And like, I'm not like, stop bragging now, 300 episodes in.
Yeah.
I was really good at sports early.
Yeah.
And I was really good at baseball. That was my first one. Like, all the older boys on the block, they'd throw baseballs and I'd fucking just park them at 2 years old. So it's not like this is unheard of in terms of my lineage, but it is like, it's cool to see like, holy shit, genetics, man.
Yeah.
It's real. It's so weird. But the more I like,
it's going to be fun to see how far he goes if you don't fuck it up like your dad did.
Oh, well,
Which
I don't,
you won't,
well
but
that's
it's
the
like,
thing is like, I don't care.
It'll be interesting. No, I'm just saying it'll be great to see like almost like the what could have been of your athletic stuff had it been fostered and nurtured in the right
in a healthy way.
In like a like bumpers on the bowling lane, just be like, okay, and stay away from and watch out for this without being too like over the top.
I'm really disappointed. And again, this could have been I was a little hard-headed as a kid. I thought I was a know-it-all for sure. And probably because I was good at sports, I was less like, fuck do you know, like type shit. But I also wasn't really surrounded by a lot of brilliant sports minds, and that never kind of was placed in front of me. Like I went to camps and stuff like that, and I always listened. I was never mouthy. I never acted up, any of that shit. Yeah. But like stuff that I'm learning now about like winning basketball and things
IQ.
like IQ. I had great basketball IQ and vision, and all my instincts were there. But if somebody like told me to focus on passing as opposed to being a jump shooter and shooting and scoring is the most important thing,
but
I could have been a real
shot. You know what I mean?
But I could have been like a real point guard, and like I could have kept tabs of like my assists, like give me something to challenge myself with, instead of just worrying about what my box score looks like and all of that.
But that's the glamour muscles. That's the same thing in baseball. People just want to hit a home run, and you know what I mean? Or it's like pitchers just want to strike out people. It's like, yeah, you can strike out 10 guys a game, but you're going to pitch 4 innings every time because you're going to throw too many pitches. Right. The greatest pitchers are the ones who can pitch, strike out, and throw. Yeah, efficient, swing to contact, get them to ground out, whatever. All this stuff to say.
Well, what I'm actually, I was going back to the ocean story.
Yeah.
So this is what it's to say. That Crew is really physically capable, and with that, he's taking a lot of chances. So he's jumping into the pool sometimes, which is fucking terrifying. Yeah. No matter how much we're like, hey, do not. This is really dangerous. Yeah. Whatever. Trying to take him away from it, not punish, but like, whatever. Separate him from it and explain, just like, do not. This is fucked up, dude. Right. All that stuff. So it makes me think of like some of my childhood shit and how I put my parents through a lot of fear and everything. And then I got flashed back to that story that I think I've told on the podcast at Jones Beach, where I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I'm in the shallow, like probably up to my thighs or something like that, and maybe even my ankles or mid-shin. And my parents and everybody were just sitting on the beach watching, which baffles me that they weren't like next to me in the ocean. Yeah. But I'm there, and I got blasted by a wave. Like I just misjudged the thing. I didn't run from it, and it just blasted me. And I remember getting taken under the water. And I'm in the shallows, so I'm here. I'm like on the ground. And the wave is just beating me down. Yeah. So I can see the air, but I can't get to it. Yeah. And I'm being just absolutely pummeled.
When the set of waves have come in.
Dude, it's like going down in a fight and having 3 dudes jump in and start lacing up your ribs. Like that's how I felt. And I was like, ugh, like trying to get up, couldn't breathe, freaking out, thinking this was it, seeing the sun through the water and being like, is this the last thing I see? Yeah. This is fucking nuts. And then finally I'm like, I get up from the water and I like just look around and my dad's entire family is pointing and laughing at me. Like dying, like,
and that's why he's a lake guy.
Loser.
And that's why he's a lake guy. I mean, dude, when I used to go out, we would go to like Amagansett out near like Montauk and stuff. And the beaches there are just so like beautiful. Some of the best beaches in the entire East Coast. And the waves there would be so good. And they'd be these, 5 to 6 feet overhead waves. And I would always like either boogie board or I would just body surf. Yeah. But some of them used to be like, my friends and I would be like, let's sit down right where the wave crests. And it's going to like calculate the exact hardest point of impact, sitting Indian style on the ground, being like, fucking do what you're gonna do, bro. And then just getting trucked by wave.
Yeah.
Dude, we would come out with like sand, because sometimes, you would get hit by a wave so hard that it would drag your body against the floor with the sand. So I'd come out with raspberries on my fucking back, on my shit
you
like that.
You were in the movie Roadhouse.
Laughing, dude. Laughing. Feeling alive. Feeling like fucking excited, man. It was like, we had very different experiences.
It's so different. And not to mention, half of your friends that did that probably have CTE right now and are like on the way to a murder. Because that is damaging to the crown of your head.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So I'd highly recommend it. Love body surfing. But I do want to say this, speaking of fun, which it's going to bring me to a larger point if I'll get there. But I did a show yesterday at Juke Bar. That one. What is that? What's the name of the show called?
Those guys are cool too. I completely forget.
Andrew Ginsberg, I think is his name, who produces it. It's something with like there's like a jester on it.
I'm looking for it.
It's called
The Village Idiot.
The Village Idiot. There you go. So we did that show. Which it was packed. It was absolutely. Which I know when you did it, it's always packed.
Yeah. It was
and
great.
It's like I think you described it well, where you're like, it's a great show, it's packed. At the end of the day, it's still like a bar show. So there is the bar show, Pratt Falls, which obviously is like, it's not a comedy club, so it's not quiet. There's going to be a full bar around the corner. Some of the people are not there for the comedy show. The drinks will be being made. Conversations will be happening. People will feel the need to talk over the PA system, to talk to their friends. So there's a general cafeteria loudness to it. So when you go up there, you got to really kind of command it. Otherwise,
I think it's tough for me, especially right now, because the material I'm doing is not screamy and it's commanding, but it's not like, you guys know what it's very personal, and I'm talking about something specific, and it relies on listening.
It's so funny you said that, because so Derek Gaines went up right before me, and as Derek always does, just murdered. Murdered. And there was also a room of all very young, very hot white people, which I got to hand it to a lot of these newer comics who are producing shows.
Got to hand it to the whites.
No.
You produce some hot people.
So all these new people who are producing shows and stuff, they get all these email lists of and they just somehow find all 20 to 30-year-olds that are all attractive and wealthy and stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when we were producing shows, it was just barking. It was just our friends, and who can we literally grab off the street and throw into a room and convince them they wanted to see comedy now, versus these other people who are targeted comedy fans, and and the show's good, but it was pretty much all a lot of young white people, which Derek was just fucking watch this.
I mean, I'm gonna make a lot of references to Fight Club, since I just listened to a podcast kind of breaking it down, made me realize a lot about that movie that I hadn't before.
Mm-hmm.
But they're we very much are the middle children of comedy. Now everybody has the I know what I'm doing digital wise. You know what I'm saying? And even us, we've figured it out and we've gone along with it. But everybody who kind of grown up with the technology is gonna, they're gonna be a little bit ahead.
Anyone who starts comedy now is gonna be
they're just gonna have it's like learning how to shoot lefty. If you have more reps, you're just gonna figure it out. So we grew up in a weird analog to digital time.
Yeah.
And right at the moment when shit shifted, which is so weird because we can still remember when it mattered when you were good. And now it's a complete opposite.
Now, the lucky part for us is that we got to stay essentially underground for the first 7 years of our development to where we got funny. And now, which I do think is valuable, because it's only not valuable if you're funny and don't do anything digitally, but being able to do things digitally while having the funny analog backup of that. A lot of comics now, there's a lot of comedians who are incredibly good at social media. They have a huge following. They're very good at, any TikTok or YouTube, whatever it is. But their funny isn't as caught up to where, and it's nothing against them. It's just they're newer. They've been doing comedy maybe 4 years, and they have 1 million, 500,000 followers, and you're like,
so there's a ton of people to see their free 10-minute spot.
Well, and that's the thing too. You almost feel bad for them, because you're just doing, if I had started digital, I would have immediately just, tried to get as many followers as possible. And then once you get followers, you're like, oh, fuck, I don't have it's one of those things where it's you don't deserve to have followers yet. You've earned the ones that you have, but now you got to keep them. And that's the hardest fucking thing. And so,
I think in that way, this would be me, and probably this isn't even smart because you know, make money when you have the window. You know what I mean? But I probably would just continue to do digital shit and then perform on the low. Like, just never tell people. I just try to get good.
Yeah.
I don't know, but stand-up means a lot to me, and it means nothing to almost everybody else. So that, like, it doesn't really matter. More of it now, and we've said this point ad nauseum, but it's like influencer shit. People pay for the appearance more so than they want to hear your hour. Like, they're pumped that they're in the same room as insert whoever the fuck here.
If you say something funny across your 10 to 15 minutes, then it's icing on the cake.
Dude, it's crazy how many, like, and even now, like, well-meaning people, which is, it's a good compliment because obviously some jokes do stick out more from the other. But as long as you got one, it's like one is kind of good for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
People leave that show and all they are, that one thing, that thing.
Yeah.
Like, that
the
was
only
really good.
thing we laughed at.
And then they tell that to their friends, and their friends go see them, and they're like, yeah, that one thing was great. But like, even after shows, you know, it sticks out to people where they're like, that thing, and it almost hurts where I'm like, the full show is fucking really great. Right. You know, and there's levels to each of them, you know, whatever. But
I think we're all like, so anyway, all of this to say is it's an interesting time just to watch, you know, younger comics and kind of how they're flourishing with the successful shows a lot, because there's a lot of them, right? So Derek Gaines Go Up just levels the room, absolutely just refuses to take like any of their judgment that any like younger white or like, I don't know if we can laugh, if this is okay to laugh. Yeah, like he just murders all that, leaves the room in shambles. The host comes up, brings me right on stage. So there was, of course, you know, there was like the people that go to the bar. So you lose a couple, like 8 people in the beginning. And then, yeah, for a while. But they were really fun and it was great. And there's a guy there and they're taking pictures. And then, you know, it was a great lineup. Like after me, Norman comes on and stuff. But when I leave there, it's so funny because, you know, they paid the show and they paid pretty well. Like they and what I was thinking is this is the third bar show that I've done that has paid more, in some cases double what comedy clubs are paying. I'm not kidding when I say that there are bars, that one included yesterday and everything, paid more, almost double what I would have got doing a spot at a comedy club, at any comedy club in New York City on that given night. And that's like, and I don't even know if they sell tickets. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't understand the finances of it, but all I do know is this. If there's enough of these young comics who keep starting all of these bar shows that pay more than comedy clubs and have the scene of the young, like Instagram savvy audience members, comedy clubs are gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't have to pay a lot of money, especially to take, especially on these showcase shows, but it is crazy to see where you're like, dude, what?
Well, and that's where they're being democratic and smart, where they're like, hey man, I have this following, or I know how to do this. I know how to produce a show, and I'm going to be, you know, pretty communist about it and spread the money around. So I'm not just doing this. Like when we came up, people were doing bringer shows and produce shows, whatever. And even if they charged, you wouldn't get paid.
No.
But they took $1,000 for their time.
Not only do you not get paid, but there's also, even when we produce shows, like bar shows and stuff, it was always free. You were always losing money doing the show.
And the bar was pissed.
And the bar was pissed. You never paid the performers because you were losing money doing everything. So it was just, but it was totally fine because we were all just, you know, working out materials up. But now it's like, you do a bar show, there's 100 people there and you're getting paid double the club. You're like, well, then what are clubs going to be in 5 years if it's just like this, you know? And then there's a barrier to entry to get it. It's just so wild, man. It's very cool and interesting to see what's going on with the New York comedy scene right now.
It's a comedy scene countrywide also, because you and I mean, I don't even know if this is interesting to everybody. This is obviously
Harrington. Is this
baseball.
interesting? Harrington.
I mean, as somebody who is currently making my rent working for a comedy
Oh
club,
yeah.
I'm fucking terrified right now.
I just forgot. Yeah, Harrington. Oh yeah. Well, a little more than double what you would pay. Yeah.
I mean, my rates just went up this week. I'm pretty excited.
Good. Oh, that's great.
I'm probably still not hitting these fucking BYOB bar shows. Which is the craziest thing, honestly, is the BYOB aspect. So removing that fucking 1 or 2 drink minimum and being a thing where you guys can come in with a 12-pack of White Claws for the 7 of you. You know, you're paying $10 for a ticket. That's a $100 night.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's the continuation of comedians of comedy. It's that shit. Like when Patton was setting up rock club venues because the comedy clubs were too expensive for his younger fans that were interested in comedy. Like, I mean, even podcast fans, most of them are youngish people that are tapped in digitally and all that stuff. Yeah, you can turn that on. I'm actually hot for the first time in my life. But, it's like you want to give them an inexpensive way to consume what you like doing the most. Because right now, the inexpensive way for them to consume our art is through Instagram. It costs them nothing, and we get nothing in return. Right. And it also brings us no artistic fulfillment.
No, and if it's really good, if it's really, really good, it'll be stolen. And on a bigger account.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of a continuation of that. And it's not just a New York-wide thing, dude. I mean, you and I have seen the deals that a lot of these rock places or a lot of the clubs are throwing at people.
They're below insulting.
That's some clubs.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, there are some clubs that are definitely doing it right. And listen, we can't be, or at least I'll take responsibility. I'm not mad at people for earning money. I understand that tickets and audience are the primary objective of every single
100%.
Entertainment venue. However, it has become an annoying thing that certain clubs are absolutely, much like our old producer Alex, are washing their hands of the responsibility of helping create the brand for their club and cultivating a local audience that is excited to be there no matter who is performing because they know the taste of the club is strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So like that is fewer and far between now, but I think because of a lot of the snobbish bullshit with some of the other clubs that are just raking people over the coals and basically, asking us to pay every fucking service fee that they as an accredited business have to pay anyway. Yeah. It's bonkers and bananas and will only lead us to alternative venues where we can do shit like this and clearly still make a living, maybe even better.
Which is why you should leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yeah.
And tell a friend about the podcast. Again, you've heard us just rant about all this. It's all grassroots, word of mouth shit. That's the way all of it works now. It's crazy. There's no big network executive coming in offering us a Spotify deal.
Sometimes there's not even an engineer coming in.
And then we get Harrington to slide in and save the day.
Yep.
You guys can just tell a friend about the podcast. We have over, what episode are we on? Does anybody know? 230 something, I think, at this point.
We got a third to last.
So we have 230. We have 237. So I mean, we are really there's so many. There's well over 237 hours of content of our episodes that you guys can catch up on. And we are the Sopranos of Podcast, so you should be listening to the beginning to see how far we've grown, if at all. And you can do that if you want by going to Gas Digital Network and using the code IGP. And also gives you a subscription to podcast merch. Not a subscription, a discount. Say, to podcast merch.
Do you know what I'd be interested in seeing? And I know this is a break away from plugs a little bit, but I would be interested in seeing some sort of growth pattern graph, like for us, for both, like, maturity, rage, like whatever it may be, earnings, just maturity,
confidence.
Yeah, I think my confidence right now is at an all-time high, but also the other things I'm fighting, it all kind of ebbs and flows with each other.
Of course,
I feel like I've digressed.
IrishGoodbyePodcast@gmail.com. And, obviously, if you're supporting the show, we love you for it. And you can support us by seeing us on the road.
That's right.
Everybody who's listening right now, you can do it while you're listening, or if you're on YouTube and you got that YouTube Red or whatever the fuck YouTube thing it's called, minimize that window and go to comicsroadhouse.com. Buy tickets to see me either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, August 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'm bringing very funny Casey Balsham with me. We're going to have a good time. So I'm headlining that. So just for right now, that's all I want you to focus on this week. I'll plug other shit another time. Come to Comics Mohegan Sun. Check out my comedy special and follow me on my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch because the upgrades have been incredible. It looks great now. We're getting more people hanging out every time. Twitch.tv/NY Freshmaker.
Hell yeah. For my dates, go to MikeCannonComedy.com. Tonight, is it Thursday? It is. Yeah. If you're listening live, and you live in New Jersey, then you can certainly pause this and come down. Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Uncle Vinny's. One more show tonight, July 22nd. And then next weekend, July 30th through the 31st, if you're listening for free on the Monday, that's this Friday and Saturday, Spokane, Washington. Woo! I've gotten a ton of messages. Both Feeney and I. There's a lot of West Coast fans, especially in the Washington.
We have a bunch in Washington
area. So I don't know where Spokane is. I don't know where anything is. I know it's a few hours away from Seattle. But either way, come out to that. 4 shows, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. It's my first time at this club. Hoping to sell out some shows, so let's do it. And then August 11th is the big one. Royersford, Pennsylvania. Soul Joel's Comedy Club. Me, Michael Feeney, Brendan Sagalow.
Yeah.
We're doing half stand-up, half podcast, a little bit of Here's a Scenario, a little bit of Irish Goodbye podcast, maybe some special guests.
Who has been a past guest.
Who's been a past guest, who have been just figments of our imagination. There's a lot of possibilities and certainties that are going to happen, and we're very excited for the spectacle that we are going to create.
We are creating a spectacle. This is like a WWE event.
Yeah, we're filming the whole thing. It's going to be put out as a special on our Patreon.
On our Patreon, patreon.com/scenario-pod. Check that out. Check out Here's the Scenario. It's a new podcast, but it's very fun, very different than this. It's less storytelling. We're answering hypotheticals. At all. It's hypotheticals, what ifs, very fun. And so if you want your hardcore stories and talks about comedy, you come here. And if you want just silly Billy Vanilli, then you go over there.
If you want
and then hey, Harrington, let's give you a plug, pal.
Hold on, I have more.
Oh, okay. Fuck you, Harrington.
Yeah, August 27th and 28th, I'm in Long Island. I'm doing Bohemia, McGuire's Comedy Club on the 27th. And then Levittown on the 28th, which I actually also just decided, me and Lucas, our Patreon producer / film guy, him and I are going to be filming a mini documentary where we're going to certain spots where my father grew up on Levittown.
Yeah.
Because I want to get to know the area. I think it could be an interesting little thing. That'll also go up on Patreon, but it'll be some of the show. We're going to be doing stand-up on Levittown. It's just, I spent a lot of my childhood there with my grandparents and witnessed some pretty wild shit. So I want to get to know that area and maybe a little bit of my father's history a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, the run in October is the big one with Sagalow. We're going to Columbus, Ohio, McHenry, Illinois, and then finishing it up in Chi-Town, Zany's Comedy Club. There is a potential that I might, they don't know this yet, but there is potential that I might be filming my special there. So I'm almost ready. The hour is getting there. I did it again last night. It feels great. It feels fresh. Everybody, Dino was like, that's the best set you've ever had. And I'm like, that kind of hurt my feelings about previous shows, but okay. But yeah, I think this hour, I can't say it enough. Like I said, my confidence is at an all-time high. It's the best shit I've ever written. I'm at the top of my motherfucking skill set comic.
Then why not just do the Brooklyn Comedy Club?
Should I?
Harrington?
Dude, please God, I'll do anything.
I might ask one of these young bar show producers if they have a suite.
They'll pay double. Harrington, where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much every night.
Was that a cry quiver in your blood?
Maybe. Dude, you know how good it would be? I think Katie Boyle and Ryan Long are thinking about shooting their stuff in my club. So
hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
I would love to have you, Cannon, if you want to do that.
Yeah. I've shot stuff on your stage and put it out on YouTube before, and have given you multiple shout outs on this podcast because I think you're doing a bang up job there, and you help make up for some of the toughness of getting out to Williamsburg on a Friday or a Saturday.
Oh, there we go. That's my plug.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Brooklyn Comedy Club, right? Old Man Hustle.
Brooklyn Comedy Club at Old Man Hustle. You can follow me at BM Harrington to see what comics I'm putting up every single night. Guarantee it's a banger every night of the week.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He really is.
Cultivating.
I got to give it to you, man.
Now, I want to talk about a fun thing that happened.
Oh, a story?
A story, perhaps. Erica got somehow through a raffle or something. Won.
Thank God. I don't know why when you go, Erica got, I was like, mugged? It's like,
I said fun story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she got these tickets to go to the world premiere of the M. Night Shyamalan film Old, which is his new thing. So this is not just the premiere, this is the world premiere. So this is like never been screened anywhere before yet. And it is it's right near Columbus Circle at this beautiful theater, and there's the whole cast is there, M. Night Shyamalan is there and stuff. So it's this really awesome, like you can't wear jeans or a t-shirt, like it's like formal wear essentially because there's like a carpet and everything like that.
Did you guys stroll to red?
We didn't.
Do the walking pose or whatever.
You'd be surprised, but the red carpet kind of splintered off once they got the general admission and the ticketed people.
Jen Pop was headed down the shit brown carpet.
Yeah. Even though we were in the like the VIP of the priority of the extras,
sure.
like, or people that get to go in there, or whatever. So we go sit in this theater, and they give each of us like a gift bag, which is pretty cool, with like water and popcorn, and all kind of stuff in there. Twizzlers, which I haven't had in 13 years, and Erica
movie
was
delicacy.
Like, yeah. So we're just sitting there.
Also, maybe the hardest thing to floss out of your teeth.
Yeah,
they fucking get in between there like they're permanent bonding.
Yeah, I don't like Twizzlers, and I never have.
Really?
Never. There was like a 2-week run I had in high school where I ate them for some reason, but then I was like, oh, I don't like this.
I'll tell you what, I took a long Twizzler sabbatical when I saw this fucking absolute queef bite the ends off of each side and then use it to slurp up his strawberry milk.
Yeah, you could use it as a straw.
I fucking hate you.
Did you do that, like the string cheese where you peel all the little ones off one by one?
No, I mean, I did like 2 and then I'd eat the whole thing like it was just a pale cock.
So we were sitting there, and what's cool is, before the movie, M. Night comes out and does like
Mr. Night.
Or Mr.
What is
M.
the M for? I think he has mukbang?
I think he has a very Indian first name.
Myanmar?
That would be cool, but easy to pronounce and not to where he would call himself. But I'm not really sure. You can look what it stands. Oh, there it is. Oh, Manoj Niliatu. Manoj Niliatu M. Night. Okay. That's fine.
I see why you did that.
Yeah, me too. So he comes out and he's starting to talk about the movie, and he's talking about the process of making it and how difficult it was,
and how his last 8 have been bad.
I heard Split was fantastic. I haven't watched that one. I heard that. He's kind of back.
So
you know what I mean?
The Visitors was really good too.
I hadn't seen that one. The last movie I saw of his was The Village. And then I missed out on all the other, that one where everyone was just dropping dead with Mark Wahlberg or whatever that was.
Signs?
No. It was The Happening.
Oh, The Happening.
All that kind
of stuff. It's gas! Or whatever.
So I hadn't seen one of his movies in a long time or whatever, but he's out there talking about how difficult it was to do it during COVID. And, they were in this beach in the Dominican Republic and, and all this kind of stuff. And then he's talking about, like, I just want to thank, like, the cast, like, people who were in the movie, like, please stand up. And it's just like they're just sitting. There's not like a section for the actors. Right. They're just dispersed within the crowd. So there's like in our row, one of like the main, like a supporting character was in there.
Oh,
There's the dude, I forgot his name, who's in the movie, but he's like, I think he was in Hereditary too. He's like the.
This is that movie that's almost like The Beach, except somebody gives birth out of nowhere.
No, you get. It's like a magnetism thing with the beach, and once you're on this beach, you age like years, like every 30 minutes, essentially. It's kind of like, how do you get off this beach without, before you die, essentially. Sure. So it's just a wild, it's like it's based off a graphic novel and everything. But as he's talking, the first part of it, he shows all the other actors in here. I'm like, this is such a cool, like I kind of had that weird moment of appreciation where I go, like I grew up like watching his films. Like I would watch The Sixth Sense, and I remember like Signs even had, like I remember I had it on DVD, and I remember that Signs had like a bonus content section, like an extras on the DVDs, where they had his like home movies that he made when he was 10 or 12 or whatever, just, crude, dumb little things that he would make, which really hit me because at the time I was like filming little dumb things with my camera.
Every one of them had like a shitty twist.
Yeah, there's always so many twists in his thing.
This guy has never been my dad. Sounds like, what?
Yeah. So but I was filming, so it was this kind of this cool thing, and I turned to Erica during all this, and like this kind of like whoa moment of going, isn't it crazy that like, I was like I grew up watching him, and like I'm now in like comedy and entertainment world and stuff, and now here I am, sitting 20 feet from him while I'm at his world premiere, which I know it's not like he didn't choose me to specifically be there, but that's pretty fucking cool that I ended up being there. Yeah. And I go, isn't that so wild? And Erica. I'll explain what she said, and then I'll explain how she meant it, all right? Because they're two different things. So I say this whole thing to her being like, can you believe it? And she goes, yeah, keep dreaming. Like, which I was like, excuse?
What is she in the movie, Heathers?
Excuse me? what? Keep dreaming? And she was like, no. I meant it like if you keep following your dreams, you'll make it up there. And I'm like, excuse me? And then she starts laughing so hard, she's like crying in the theater, being like, so now it's all we keep saying to one another. I'm like, all right, see you later. She's like, keep dreaming. And also, which it still feels a little real.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple words she missed. Like a couple words she could have added that would have softened the blow of, it could happen.
Yeah. Keep dreaming. I was like,
anything's possible is also a 2-word thing that could have been said. That's nice.
But no, that also would have hurt. Yeah, I mean, I guess anything's possible. I mean, we could die tomorrow by a comet.
If you shrug your shoulders and palms to the sky, then anything is you're a fucking
like the guy who beats Jordan in throwing quarters. Anything could happen. Keep dreaming. Hurtful. Oh. So then we watched.
That is a man that I don't think will ever be replicated looks-wise. Like, that guy looks like he came out the window of the Wizard of Oz's gates and is just like, what do you want?
He looked like Weird Al's older brother.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, Weird Al saw a ghost.
Yeah.
That guy.
So we watched the movie, which I would tell people to go see. It's a classic M. Night Shyamalan film where it's got the twists and turns. It's got some really cool things in with some visual effects, and they also have I have some issues with some of the script, as it might be a little exposition-y at some point.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a fun. There he is. It's a very fun. It's just a fun movie to watch. It's a fun movie theater movie. But what was really cool is
it gonna be? It's a movie theater movie.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah. So what is really cool is they at one point he was like, oh, my daughters are here. Like, can they stand up? And he's got two, I think like a 16 and 18-year-old daughter or something like that. And, And here's the thing. This is how talented this guy's family is. He goes, my daughter is a singer. She's about to have her first album come out. And the credits is like an original score, like an original song that she made, which you're cool. That's awesome. And he's like, and my other daughter is now into directing. And she was the second director on the film. So they were filming in 2 separate parts of the beach. So all of the second location shit, she did all of it. And you're like, how cool would that be to be like, if you're a director and you have a kid and then you can be like, who can you trust more to be like, hey, half of this movie's yours. Go get it,
Little did he tell you he has a third daughter sitting in the crowd with a helmet on, banging on a pot.
Yeah. They were like, we don't talk very much about her.
Yeah. She's just here.
Yeah. But then after the movie, it was so cool because there is no whisking the artists away. So it's just leaving a theater. So
nightmare for them.
Yeah, but everybody is leaving together. But, one of the main actresses that was in the other thing was right next to Erica and I, and Erica, is
Are there any,
there is
no famous people? I'm just wondering who the most well-known person in the room is, aside from the director.
Yeah, I mean, there are people in the cast that are famous that have been in other things and stuff. But
guy you're looking for is Alex Wolff.
Alex Wolff. Yeah, he's the star from Hereditary. There's also Rufus, what's his name?
Wainwright?
Seawall or something like that.
Rufus Wainwright sounds like a great name.
Yeah.
Is that a person?
There's Adam Wainwright, the professional baseball player.
Oh.
But so we're all mingling in the lobby with all these people, right? And now what they're trying to do is they're splitting the crowd again, where they go people that are involved in the film and all of the industry cleaves that are there, because there are so many, you could tell, just producer, overly tight suit, Ari Gold sunglasses on the thing, being
with a name tag that says producer,
just being like, baby, I loved it, that was great, agents, agents.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of those crowding around all the actors and actresses and stuff. And there was one actress, I forget what her name is, but she was the main. She has three names, something hyphen something.
Rachel Lee Cook from She's All That.
Maybe it was, but then she's much more tan. No, this one was beautiful. She's black. But she's being literally surrounded by all of these, for sure, just agents, and they're building her up. They're being like, oh, they're so good. And she's kind of listening. Oh yeah, Nikki Akuma Bird. Bird. Great in the movie, and also just she was gorgeous. And as we're walking by, and she's getting talked to by all this, Erica goes, I just want to let you know you were incredible in the movie and stuff. And you could tell she locked on to Erica because all the people around her are
disingenuous.
Yes, men.
Yeah,
They're you're the next big thing. You're Lupita, baby.
Yeah,
you're gonna be huge. Like all that kind of shit. And then Erica's just like, she has no bias in this, and she's not being like, hey, fuck you. Just one nice compliment coming out, and
she's being taken. Get away from the rich.
Yeah. And she was just so like, thank you so much. Like she just kind of whoop and just was thank you so much. And now they're starting to separate everybody. They go, if you're going to the after party, which is being held right there on the same floor as the movie theater, go to the left. If you want to go to the right, like everybody else, go to the right, get the fuck out. So they start filing 90% of the people out. And now what's left is just this lot. Not everyone has gone to the after party yet. We're all in the lobby kind of commingling. So there's like Alex Wolff is just standing there. And like one of like the children who are in the movie, he's just like this cute little kid in like a full suit who's just like taking pictures with like adults who's just kind of smile. Like he just
so weird.
He's
dude.
4 and he knows just how to like hold like a pose face.
Yeah,
and
because his parents have been tossing him into pedophiles' laps since he was 6 months old.
It's crazy. And you're like, you're either going to be the biggest star or some terrible stuff's going to happen to you. And I hope the former.
My money's on the latter.
Yeah. So he is, so we're talking to all these people. And now we're trying to do a thing where I'm like, you think we can get into that party? You think we can get into that party? And
with that mustache, you could be the officer in charge of that party.
And we're scoping it out, and there seems to be a decent amount of security. But there's a lot of chaos going on because, again, it's bottlenecking up to where it splits off. So everybody's kind of like, hey, you got to go this way. So I go, if we just cut to the left, we can fucking get in. And I already got my M. Night Shyamalan in story. I'm going to tell about the Signs DVD extras and how that inspired me. So I'm not just like, hey, Sixth Sense was great. I got a fucking in that's going to hit
next one.
I got like your childhood work was cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which no one's saying there.
What Signs was his childhood work?
No. The bonus extra of him movies. Right. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll have a conversation with him.
You know what's weird about that is that's how I had my first conversation with Colin Quinn. My first conversation with Colin Quinn was in the basement of this invite-only non-comedy club show that was wildly popular, would sell out in 10 seconds once they sent out an email to their list. And it was at the bottom of Ward's bookstore in Fort Greene or whatever.
Yeah. What was that called?
Wards of Merkin.
Oh, okay.
And I actually got to perform on it years later, which was super cool, but it was at a different place, bigger venue. I wanted the smaller, cool vibe a little bit. But that first night, I'm like, I'm a year, maybe 8 months into comedy, and I went with my buddy Andrew, and we saw, Colin, Judah Friedlander, all comic, Kristen Schaal, all these people that were so good that we've seen on TV, and they're commingling similarly. And I went up to Colin, and I was hammered, but I was like, I loved your foreword in Jim Norton's book. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
like it just took him so off guard that we ended up having a conversation for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I doubt he remembers it.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny part too. Is like something specific. So I had that in my head, in my back pocket, where I'm like, I'm not even gonna be nervous. Be like, I like your work. I'll just hit him with it. So we're trying to figure out how we can get in there. And I go up to one of the women and I was like, does this thing? Because it says VIP on the tickets. I'm like, does this get us into that? And they're like, no, that's a separate ticket to get in there. So I'm like, shit. So we have that moment of being like, should we try? And then as we're starting to get filed more, there's more people like, come on, guys. So we ended up not trying to get in there, which at first I regretted once we left because we had that thing where we were right there, dude.
Don't ever do this. What do you say?
We were right there, and we were so close, and it was like literally 5 feet between me and Hollywood elite people, producers, agents, actresses, actors, like very famous people were. The difference to separate us was like a first-class curtain on an airplane.
You could have pitched your short film.
It was that close to us, but then I walked out of there, and after a while, I'm like, you know what? Like it's one of those things where you have to be a certain type of shark to do that, and I don't think that maybe that me not being that person is going to ultimately hinder my career. But I think I was talking to Evan Williams about it, and he's like, that's the way you gotta go about it, is being the normal human, because that guy, if I did like pathologically lie my way into that and network and meet people and stuff, like that might jump you ahead a little bit. But if also there was a moment where people could have been like, who are you? What are you doing here?
And what's your name?
Yeah.
I'm going to write it down in my forever book.
And then you're just, it's like the instant gratification you would get or maybe the instant boost would be like a long-term issue if you, if you would just be that psycho. You'd be one of those lunatics.
I keep thinking that, and then every success story I read is he stabbed a person and then was the head of Pixar.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck
I
are we
guess
supposed
so,
to do?
man. I mean, maybe it's just that fucking like that shark instinct of. I feel like if I was an agent, I would have gotten away in there. And I even said to Erica, I was like,
that sounds like a place my agent lives and gets no business done.
But that's the thing where you go, man, if I had, it wouldn't have been too hard to get it. If I really wanted to be in there.
You could have.
That is
You have more of that in you than I do.
But Erica also, Erica looked great. She was dressed up. So, we had, we weren't dressed, again, because they told us to dress nice. We were dressed as if we could be at a private party for a premiere. And it would have taken, I think, $50 to one of the bouncers in his palm to be like, hey, what's going on? And that's all it would have taken. And I would have been in there and we could have talked.
I wonder if it would have actually been more difficult because of Vax card protocol and all that stuff. You don't even consider that.
Yeah.
Because everybody
they said you had to be vaccinated to go to the premiere.
Oh,
but they did no proof of it.
Right.
No checking. So, but I don't know, man. But there was just food going in there. There was hors d'oeuvres. We could smell the food. So I was like, ah.
Yeah.
But a part of me regretted it. But a part of me is like, I don't want to be that guy, man. Like that. If that's the way I get famous, where it's like I had to grease people and lie my way and basically be the, be like the glomeron to be like. And now that's a shitty way of living, man.
Yeah, it's funny because that environment is almost worth it to get into just to see what it's like, because that's high level, obviously. M. Night Shyamalan is one of the dudes that he gets paid a lot of money to direct shit and people are drawn to that. I've been to classic MTV launch shit and VH1 premieres, and the amount of play pretend time of big business that goes on at those things while they're handing out fucking, half-cooked sliders to people is hilarious. The amount of people that are like, I'm actually too important to talk to you type shit while you're walking around the premiere of Naked and Afraid for VH1 and you're like, nobody here is good at their job. Yeah. Nobody, because we're watching this.
Well, also, I've been to those, New York Comedy Festival parties with all Comedy Central heads, and they're in these giant venues. It's like a football field long, and there's just all these pockets, and it's so uncomfortable because everybody is got their their face on, every best behavior, and this is crazy,
you're a walking
right?
Headshot.
You're a walking headshot, and you don't know. Anytime you walk up to a group and you don't recognize someone, you're like, are they an executive at somewhere?
Sure.
And it's important that I know them. Should I be knowing them? Should I not? Should I know that they're a nightmare and should be talking to this person?
Yeah.
There's so much of that shit where you're like, this sucks. And then you end up just posting up in the corner with your friends and getting drunk. And then that's when they would come up to you.
Isn't it funny that most of the stories that I've heard about that stuff is oh, I liked him because he didn't know who I am. I've never had that happen to me in my entire life.
Yeah.
I've casually met people that are very important and I've just been completely cool and we had a conversation. And then that was that. And then somebody was like, that was the head of Fuck Dust or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. And then I heard they're like, yeah, they like to be treated like a sultan. It's actually the most important thing to them that they're not talked to as if you're on the same level. It's all right.
Well, those people are, again, that's the type of person you got to be, I guess. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
again, it would have been, like you said, for not even for my career, but I think that would have been the move for fly on the wall. See how
story.
But again, just from seeing how those actors were being attacked by all those agents and producers, you're like, that would have just been a jerk off fest.
But this is what I'm kind of I'm building in my head a little bit. So that stuff, because I think I maybe talked about it last week, but I've had meetings lately with people that wouldn't give me a conversation a year ago,
right?
Which is funny. And mostly what I've taken from a lot of these meetings is that they do a lot of reminding you that they're the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So they tell you who they know and who they have access to and who you'll be partnered with if you'll only come along with them and sign your rights away.
Right.
However, if you don't, you'll never sniff any of that.
Yeah.
And it's okay, I'm almost fine with them having that show business and we just create an offshoot show business that's actually fun.
And maybe it pays double.
And there's far less children being sodomized.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.